Here's a little tip if you are a buyer, especially maybe a first-time buyer, or if you are, putting an offer on a property especially with conditions, right? And so this obviously applies in a market where it's not super hot and you got to go in, firm. One thing you can do to try and kind of help your cash flow is when you're putting a deposit on an offer. Typically you put a deposit and it's due within 24 hours of acceptance of the offer. So usually, next business day. But if let's say you're buying a property for $2 million, 5%, which is $100,000, but you've got conditions for financing, inspection, and what you might not want to happen is have that money tied up in case things don't go the way you're hoping. You're kind of stuck if you haven't done this. You're stuck with $100,000 that might take, a few days, to a week to get back. So what you can do in that scenario is you can give a reasonable deposit, say $25,000 upon offer acceptance, and then you can write a clause for a subsequent deposit due once the offer firms up. So once the conditions have been met and you firm up the offer, then you can give the additional $75,000 for the total of $100,000. What this does for you is if it doesn't go through, now let's say you found a property the next day, but your money's tied up and you can't offer on that one because you don't have the deposit. This at least gives you a pretty good chunk that you haven't given on the other property to give on the next, right? So you have $75,000 or $50,000 that maybe you want to put down on that one, and you can wait for that $25,000 to come back because it's not the entire amount that you needed. So that's a little tip if you're offering on a property, if you're a buyer, and if you're in a scenario where it's not a super hot market and people are putting in offers firm.